Hello students, welcome in today's lecture. We are discussing the kingdom fungi, and in our previous lecture we have seen some of the important points from this kingdom. So these fungi are the heterotrophic organisms. They will find or they will observe in the moist environment. This fungi body is a filamentous. It is made up of the slender, thin thread-like structure which we call as the hyphae, and this hyphae together form a structure that is called as the mycelium. Number of examples of this fungi we have seen. For example, the mole on the bread, or mushroom, or the toadstool. Then the next example is the wheat rust, which is a disease caused by the fungi Puccinia. Then the white spot on the mustard leaves are also due to the fungal infection. Different type of antibiotics we can use for curing the different types of the diseases or infection, that is called as a penicillium, which produces antibiotics. So there are number of examples of this fungi. All the fungi are the multicellular except one fungi is there, and name of that fungi is ester, which is used particularly for making bread and the beer in the industry. Okay, so some are these points which are we have already discussed in our previous lecture. Now this other part of the fungi that we are going to discuss here, that is, as we see that these fungi are the heterotrophic. Before that, we have to see that this structure that we are discussing is, that is, the body of the fungi is a filamentous. That means it is thread-like. If the any fungi can be broken down, then you will find the thin thread-like structure that is called as a filament. So body of the fungi is filamentous. It is made up of the structure that we call as a hyphae. These hyphae are thin, slender, thread-like structure. Two types of hyphae we have seen that. One is called as a sinocytic hyphae, and another one is called as the septate hyphae, or the which has a cross walling between the nucleus. Okay, so these hyphae aggregate together and they form the mycelium structure, which is the vegetative part of the fungi. This mycelium is a part of the fungi which is formed from the aggregation of the hyphae, and such filamentous structure of the fungi you will find in the whole that kingdom. Okay, so here one of the important points that we have to discuss is the cell wall, because we have seen that in kingdom Monera the cell wall is present, which is made up of the amino acids and polysaccharides. In Protista, some may have cell wall, some do not have cell wall. For example, we have seen that in Euglena there is a cell wall absent. Okay, like that here also the cell wall is present. No doubt all the fungi has cell wall. There is no exception that not any fungi has a cell do not have the cell wall. All fungi have the cell wall. Okay, not a single exception is there. And the cell wall of these fungi are made up of two important components. One is called as the polysaccharide, and another one is called as the chitin. Okay, the composition of the cell wall in the kingdom Monera is amino acid and the polysaccharide. Here the composition of the cell wall in the fungi is chitin and polysaccharide. So this composition of the cell wall is very important. Okay, so chitin and the polysaccharide is a component of the cell wall of the fungi. So cell wall is present in this fungi. Okay, so cell wall made up of this polysaccharide and the chitin. Body is filamentous, made up of hyphae. Hyphae together form the mycelium structure. Okay, now we are going to discuss here the heterotrophic nature of this fungi, because we have seen that all fungi are heterotrophic. They do not have any pigments in their body for the photosynthesis. They do not have any other machinery in their body for carrying out the photosynthesis. So almost they depend on the other organisms for their food requirement. That's why they are called as the heterotrophic. Most of the fungi obtain the soluble organic matter. Most of the fungi obtain soluble organic matter from dead substrate or dead organisms, and such a fungi are called as the saprophytes. These fungi are called as the saprophytes. Okay, the saprophyte term we have discussed many times, that saprophytes means the organism which feed on dead and decaying matter. These saprophytes are indirectly cleaners of the environment. They clean the environment, they remove the dead part from the soil, and that's why we call it the saprophytes. So most of the fungi belongs to this category, saprophytes, because what they did, they absorb the soluble organic matter. Organic matter means what? It is nothing but the organic compound which is made up of carbon, hydrogen, often oxygen and the nitrogen. That means the organic compound which is present in that dead organism, okay, which is made up of the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen or nitrogen. Such organic compound is called as organic matter, and this includes, for example, carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, nucleic acid. These are the organic compound, and this carbon, protein, lipids, nucleic acid, which we call as organic compound, are nothing but also called as the organic matter. That organic matter from the dead body of the plants or the animals are absorbed by some of the fungi which are present in the soil, and those fungi are called as the saprophytes. Those fungi are called as the saprophytes. Okay, this is the one category of this heterotrophic fungi. Then second example of this heterotrophic fungi is that some of the fungi lives as a parasite on the plants and animals. So some fungi lives as a parasites on plants and animals. That means parasite means what? They are present on or inside the body of plants or animals, and they produce various types of diseases there that we call as a parasitic fungi. If we take the example of the human being, you know there are various types of the fungal diseases you will find in the body of the human being. The fungal infection may occur on our skin, on our nail, on our hair. That is the parasitic fungi. If you know that if our body is moist one, okay, because in the starting of this lecture we have seen that the moist and humid place is the favorite place for this fungi. When they will get this moist area, they will spread there, they will establish there. So if our skin remains moist number of times, then you will find that there will be fungal infection occur on our skin. Itching will be there, or there will be some red spots are there, that is called as a fungi. Okay, sometimes on the nail, some people has their nail black color or dark gray color, and then immediately get breakdown, nail get breakdown, get fallen down, and that process is called as the fungal infection on the nail. Sometimes on the hair, some area is there where hair do not grow, and that round circular area where the hairs are not present, that in Marathi we call it takkal. In that area there will be fungal infection. That's why that fungi do not produce hair on that place, and such a infection on the hair is a fungal infection. So these are some examples of the fungi, how they act as a parasite in the animal, particularly in the human being. There are some pet animals, पाळीव प्राणी असतात, कुत्रा, मांजर, यांच्यामध्ये सुद्धा आपल्याला फंगल इन्फेक्शन पाहायला मिळतं. Plants in two examples we already discussed, that white wheat rust, which is the disease of the wheat, which is caused by the fungi Puccinia. That means on the whole wheat plant there are brownish spot, which we call as a wheat rust. While in mustard plant, mohri is a plant where you will find that white spot on that mustard plant, and that white spot are nothing but due to the fungi. So this fungi acts as the parasite on plants and the animal body. And there is another example is that fungi also acts as a symbiont. Fungi also show the symbiotic relationship, or we may say that as a symbiotic association. Then what is mean by symbiotic association. Symbiotic association means it is one type of the association where there are involvement of the two organisms and both organisms get benefit from each other, that is called as the symbiont. One example by which you can better understand the symbiotic relationship that we will discuss here, because we have seen some part of it in the Archaebacteria. We have seen that in the Archaebacteria the ruminant animals are there. Ruminant animals, for example, cows and buffaloes. These cows and buffaloes eat the the cellulose part of the plant, because if you know that the chara Marathi call as, it is a food of these cows and buffalo. In that their cellulose is there, because the plant cell wall is made up of cellulose. So cellulose is eaten by these ruminant animals. But keep in mind, all the mammals do not have the enzyme which can digest the cellulose. For example, cellulase. For example, see here, cellulase is an enzyme which digests the substrate cellulose. Okay, so this cellulase enzyme, which is responsible for digestion of the cellulose substance, is not present in all mammals, even including us, that we do not have the cellulose enzyme. That's why we cannot eat directly the plant material, because in that cellulose is there and it is not digested by the cellulose enzyme, because it is absent in all mammals. But there are two mammals, that is called as cows and buffaloes. Even though they do not have cellulose enzyme, they can eat the cellulose food material with the plant. Okay, but when that cellulose come inside the body of their stomach, there are some bacteria which are present in their stomach. That bacteria digest the cellulose material, and instead of that, that bacteria get protection from that ruminant animal, and ruminant animal get ready-made digested cellulose from the bacteria. So this is the example of the symbiotic association. That means the bacteria and the ruminant animals, these are the example of the symbiotic association. Bacteria get protection from the buffaloes and cows, and instead of that, the cows and buffaloes get ready-made food digested by the bacteria, and this is called as a symbiotic relationship. But here, the two examples that we are going to discuss for the symbiotic association, one is called as the lichen and another one is called as the mycorrhiza. So this symbiotic association is that some of the fungi shows association with algae, and that is called as the lichen. So lichen, that means fungi which shows association with the algae. And another one is that mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza is the fungi which shows association with roots of higher plants. Roots of higher plants. Then what is meant by this lichen and the mycorrhiza? So this lichen and mycorrhiza, these are the symbiotic fungi. Okay, then you know the term lichen, in Marathi we call it as a dagad फूल or dhon फूल. It is one of the plant, or we may say that it is one of the fungi which is used as a spices, मसाल्याचा पदार्थ म्हणून आपल्याकडे वापरला जातो. घरामध्ये जी आपल्या चटणी वगैरे केली जाते त्यासाठी हे लायकेन यूज केलं जातं. ओके, सो कीप इन माइंड, लायकेन इज नथिंग बट द fungi which shows association with the algae. Okay, so we are not focusing on this uses of lichen or the importance of lichen, but few things you should know about the lichen, that this lichen grows on the rock, grows on the bark of trees, even they grows on the soil, on the snow, etc. So this lichen is a fungi which always shows association with the algae. Then what is benefit from this algae to the lichen, or the lichen from the algae? Because it is an example of this symbiotic association, and we have seen that symbiotic association means the association between two organisms where both get benefited from each other. So this lichen which shows association with algae, it is a fungi and it is an algae. So what is important? This lichen get the food from the algae, because we have seen that one example is there, that is the blue green algae, which fix the atmospheric nitrogen with the help of the important cell, and the name of that cell is called as the heterocyst. So these algae provide the nutrition to this lichen in the form of the nitrogenous compound, and instead of that, this so the lichen get the food from this algae, and this algae gets protection from the lichen, because on that algae lichen form a protective layer, and that's why from adverse environmental condition this algae get protected from the lichen. So what is there? Lichen provide protection to the algae, and algae provide food to the lichen. So it is an example of the symbiotic association. Second example is called as the mycorrhiza. So mycorrhiza is that type of fungi which show the association with the roots of the higher plant. There are some higher plants like the gymnosperm, angiosperm, and lower plants like algae, bryophyta, and pteridophyta. So these roots of the higher plant, that means like the gymnosperms or angiosperms, they are the large trees, their roots are also bigger, and inside the soil with their roots there are association of this fungi, and those fungi are called as the mycorrhiza fungi. So what these mycorrhiza do there? These mycorrhiza form, suppose these are the roots of the plants, then these mycorrhiza form a protective covering on these roots. So this is the mycorrhiza which form the protective covering on the roots of the higher plant, and due to which what happen, due to the covering of this mycorrhiza on the roots of higher plant, these roots absorb more water, more nutrient from the soil, because for absorption of water, for absorption of nutrient from the soil is double than the normal root, due to the association of this mycorrhiza on this root. या mycorrhizaमुळे ते रूट काय करतात, जास्तीत जास्त पाणी आणि मिनरल्स सॉईलमधून ॲब्सॉर्ब करतात. हे मिनरल्स आणि पाणी ॲब्सॉर्ब करण्याचं काम नॉर्मल रूट करतंच, पण त्याच्यापेक्षा दुप्पट तिप्पट जास्त वेग त्याला येतो, कारण त्याला कोण मदत करतं, रूट आणि रूटला वॉटर आणि मिनरल ॲब्सॉर्ब करण्यासाठी, तर दिस mycorrhiza. Okay, so the roots which has association of the mycorrhiza, that plant shows more vigorous growth than the normal plant which do not have association of the mycorrhiza. त्यामुळे असं रूट की ज्याला mycorrhizaचं असोसिएशन आहे ते जास्त प्रमाणात ते प्लांट ग्रो होतं, मोठ्या प्रमाणात जास्त उत्पादन देतं, यील्ड देतं दुसऱ्या प्लांटपेक्षा ज्या प्लांटवर mycorrhizaचं असोसिएशन नाही. सो इट इज इम्पॉर्टंट. सो दिस प्लांट गेट more food, more nutrient, more water due to the mycorrhiza, and mycorrhiza instead of that get the protected environment from this root, because on that root there is a layer of this mycorrhiza, so they get shelter on that root, and root get food from the mycorrhiza. So it is the symbiotic association. Okay, so it is one of the important point from the fungi, that these fungi are heterotrophic. That means they may be parasitic, found on the body of plants and animals. They may be show symbiotic association like lichen with algae and mycorrhiza with roots of higher plant, or they are saprophytic, obtain soluble organic matter from the dead organism. Okay, so this is about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition in this fungi. Now the second important point is that how this fungi reproduce. Okay, so reproduction in the fungi is important one, and it takes place by three methods. These methods are vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction, and the sexual reproduction. So next point is the reproduction in the fungi. This point is also important because reproduction point is important point from fungi. Three methods of reproduction are there: vegetative, asexual, and sexual. So first method of reproduction is called as vegetative reproduction, and in that you will find that these fungi reproduce vegetatively. Then what is meant by vegetative reproduction? That means if the part of the body, here you will not find the root, stem and leaves in the fungi because it is not a plant. But which part of the fungi are there? Hyphae is a part of the fungi. Okay, so if the filamentous part of the fungi gets separated from its body, and when it produces the new young one, then that we call as a vegetative reproduction. Okay, vegetative part, not a sexual part. Vegetative part of the fungi when produce the new fungi, then we call as a vegetative reproduction. And there are three types of reproduction. First is called as fragmentation. Second type is called as fission, and third type is called as budding. Okay, so fragmentation means what? The body of the fungi is made up of this filamentous structure. All the filaments aggregate together and they form the whole fungi. So if any this filament is separated and it can be broken down, then each break piece of the fungi will produce the new fungi. So it is the fragmentation method. Okay, second one is called as fission. Fission means, suppose it is the body of the fungi. Suppose it is not actually animal fungi, but if it is the body of the fungi, then simply we have seen that fission means what? If it is divided vertically, it produces the two parts of the fungi. Or if this body divides horizontally, then it will form the two parts of the fungi. So division of the body of the fungi either vertically or the horizontally is called as the fission of the fungi. And the third type of the vegetative reproduction is that budding. That means the bud is a part of the body of the fungi. So if we see it is a fungi. Okay, on this fungi there are small structure is present, and that structure is called as the bud. At the early stage, this bud is very small, it is in immature form. Okay, but later on that bud grows slowly, it becomes the larger one, and when it gets fully mature, this bud gets separated from this parent body, it falls on and produces the new fungi. That method is called as the budding. So three methods of the vegetative reproductions are there: fragmentation, fission and the budding. These three methods include the vegetative type of the reproduction. Then the second method of the reproduction is the asexual reproduction. Second method is asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means, as we know that there is involvement of only one fungal body, either it is male or the female, but only one fungi is involved there. There is no involvement of the male and female fungi, only one male or the female fungi is there. And generally you will find that this asexual reproduction takes place by formation of the spore. Then what is meant by spore? Spores are nothing but the round seed-like structure which are produced in the fungi, and by the spore also new fungi will be developed. Fungi are produced by the fragmentation, fission and the budding method. But there are some fungi which also can produce the spores, which are small seed-like structure, and when the spore get germinate, then they form the new fungi. So there are again the three types of these spores are there which develop the new fungi, and the spore formation is called as the asexual reproduction, and it includes again three types, and those are the conidia. One type of spore is called as conidia. Second type is called as sporangiospores. And third type is called as zoospores. Third type is called as the zoospores. Okay, so these are the three types of the spores. Conidia, these are the spores which are produced in the conidiospores. Sporangiospores are the spores which are produced in the sporangium, and the zoospores are the spores which are also produced in the sporangium. So these are the names of the spores of the fungi which produce the asexually, that are the conidia, sporangiospores and the zoospores. They also germinate and form the new fungi. So you should know which are the vegetative methods of the reproduction, which are the asexual methods of the reproduction. Okay, so here these are the vegetative reproduction, these are the asexual reproduction. Now the last method of the reproduction, that is the sexual method of reproduction, where there is the involvement of the two parents. One is male parent and another one is a female parent. So third type is called as the sexual reproduction. Third type is called as sexual reproduction. And in this sexual reproduction, again you will find there is some type of the spore, but no doubt these spores are not of the asexual type, but these spores are developed after the fusion of male and the female gametes. And these spores, after the fusion of male and female gametes, develop, and they then develop into the new fungi. So the names of the asexual reproductions, or the methods of these asexual reproductions, are of the three types, and these are oospore, ascospore and a planospore. So first one is called as the oospore, second one is ascospore, and third one is the basidiospore. Basidiospore. Okay, so all of you can see very well the reproduction method in this fungi. These fungi reproduce by three methods: vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction and the sexual reproduction. Here we are discussing the point sexual reproduction, where there is a fusion of the male and the female gametes, and then you will find the spore formation. Here, without fusion of the male and female gamete, there will be spore formation. So it is a difference between these two spores. They are formed without fusion of male and female gamete. Here, these spores are formed by the fusion of male and female gamete. And the name of these spores, which are developed by the fusion of these gametes by the process sexual reproductions, are zoospores. Okay, there are oospores, ascospores and basidiospores. Oospore, ascospore and basidiospores are the spores which are produced by the sexual reproduction. So it is very, very important that you should know the types of the reproduction, and number of students get confused in between these asexual and the sexual spores. So again, I am discussing the same point that asexual spores are Conidia, Sporangiospore and the Zoospore, while the sexual spores are Oospore, Ascospore and the Basidiospore. Okay, so this is about the names of the reproduction found in the fungi: vegetative, asexual and the sexual. It is very, very important part. Now, which type of questions are asked for the need point of view on this part? So there are always question asked that ... is a type of asexual reproduction in fungi. Then you should know that is Conidia, Sporangiospore and Zoospore are only spores which can reproduce asexually. Then there will be a column, that is one is given for the asexual reproduction and another is for the sexual reproduction. So you should know the sexual reproduction takes place with the help of oospore, ascospore and the basidiospore, and the vegetative reproduction takes place by budding, by fission and by the fragmentation method. So this is about the reproduction which is generally found in the fungi by the three types of the reproduction. Now the one important point is there, that is called as the fruiting bodies. So here number of times we have seen that spores are there, but where these spores are formed, and these spores are formed in one of the important structure, and that structure is called as the fruiting bodies. Important structure is that fruiting bodies. So see here, fruiting body is the body where you will find the spores. Now, what is meant by fruiting body? The best example of this fruiting body is the mushroom. Okay, in last lecture we have seen the structure of the mushroom. This mushroom looks like the umbrella. Okay, this is called as the fruiting body of the mushroom, and in that fruiting body you will find the spores. These spores are responsible for the reproduction. Okay, so keep in mind the fruiting bodies are the body in the fungi which always produce the spores. So what is the function of the fruiting body? It is a structure of the fungi which produce the spores. Generally this fruiting body is present on the surface of the land or where the fungi is present. This fungi generally at its tip produce this fruiting body which is full of the spores, and these spores are responsible for the reproduction. See here, the best example for the fruiting body is the mushroom, because number of students are known the structure of the mushroom. This mushroom has such an umbrella-like structure, and it is called as the fruiting body, which is generally used for the edible part of the food. And this mushroom fruiting body called has a spore. There are a number of structures which produce the spore. For example, conidiospore, then the sporangium is a sac which produces the spore. Ascocarpa is a sac which produces the spore. So there are a number of structures which we call as a fruiting body. Sporangium is called as fruiting body, mushroom is called as fruiting body, in which that part is produce the spore. But do not confuse, simply take the meaning of the fruiting body, that the body in which the spores are produced, that is called as the fruiting body. And the best example of the fruiting body is the example of mushroom, where you will find the fruiting bodies, and in that fruiting bodies there will be formation of the spores. So all this about the reproduction method in the fungi. Now we'll focus the events of the sexual reproduction, because sexual reproduction is very important phenomenon from this kingdom fungi, and you have to see that which are the events or by which sequence the sexual reproduction takes place into the body of the fungi. So next point is that events of the sexual reproduction. See here, this reproduction that we call as the sexual reproduction takes place in the fungi, and it involves events. So we say that sexual cycle of fungi involves three methods. Okay, and those are these three methods. These three methods are: one is called as plasmogamy. First we will see what is meant by plasmogamy. So plasmogamy means, no doubt here, keep in mind, sexual cycle means there is a gamete, okay, male gamete and female gamete. So what is plasmogamy? Fusion of protoplasm of motile or non-motile, fusion of protoplasm of motile or non-motile gametes is called the plasmogamy. Second is karyogamy. Second one is called as karyogamy. Karyo means the nucleus, okay? So we have seen that prokaryotic means primitive nucleus. Eukaryotic means true nucleus. Karyon means nucleus. So fusion of two nuclei are called as the karyogamy. And the third event is that meiosis in zygote results in haploid spores. Resulting haploid spores. Okay, so see here, these are the sexual cycle in the body of the fungi. It means how the sequence of the sexual reproduction takes place in fungi. First event of the sexual reproduction is that plasmogamy. Second event is that the karyogamy, and third event is that there will be zygote formation. So you should know what it means by plasmogamy. Plasmogamy means what? The fusion of the protoplasma of two motile or the non-motile male gamete, because gametes are of two types. Some are the motile which can move, that is called as motile gametes. Some are the non-motile gamete which cannot move, that is the non-motile gamete. So they say that if it is a one gamete, maybe motile or non-motile, if it is the male gamete and it is the female gamete. See here, the number of organisms, female gamete is always larger in size. That's why we shown that the large size of the gamete is female and small size of the gamete is the male. So if these are the two gametes, male and the female gametes, maybe motile or maybe non-motile. Okay, here there will be fusion of the cytoplasm. There will be fusion of the cytoplasm of these two gametes takes place. Then what is fusion of this protoplasma of these two gametes that takes place. Then what is meant by the protoplasma? Protoplasma is nothing but the nucleus and the cytoplasm. Protoplasm is nothing but the nucleus and the cytoplasm. That means in a cell you will find the nucleus, in a cell you will find the cytoplasm. So content of the nucleus and the content of the cytoplasm get mixed with each other, that is called as the protoplasma. So if the protoplasma of these two cells, two gametes get fused, then that process is called as the plasmogamy. So during the sexual reproduction there will be fusion of the protoplasma. There will be fusion of the protoplasma between two gametes, whether they are motile or non-motile. It is the first event. So there will be first fusion of the protoplasma of the two gametes which are involved in that reproduction. Second one is the called as karyogamy. Karyon means nucleus. When the protoplasma of these two gametes get fused with each other, then there will be fusion of the nuclei, because here is nuclei and this nuclei get fused with each other. After the fusion of the protoplasm, nuclei get fused to each other, and the fusion of the nuclei is called as the karyogamy. Okay, there will be fusion of the nuclei is called as the karyogamy. And then the third step, it is the first step, it is the second step, and the third step is that there will be formation of the zygote. There will be formation of the zygote. And what is zygote? Zygote is the result after the fusion of the two cells, that is the protoplasma, after the fusion of the two nucleus, that is the karyogamy, and after that there will be a structure which is called as the zygote, and this zygote structure is developed at the third step of the sexual reproduction. And here you will find that the zygote, which is always a diploid one. Why diploid? Because gametes are always haploid. So after fusion of these two haploid gametes, there will be diploid zygote will be there. In that diploid zygote, there is a reduction division occur, and the reduction division is called as meiosis, because in the same year you are going to discuss the cell division topic, where you will discuss the mitosis and the meiosis. But here meiosis means what? There is a reduction of the chromosome, that is, it is called as the reductional division. So this is the diploid zygote in which there will be reduction of the chromosome takes place, and by the reduction division there will be development of the spores, and those spores are again haploid one. Those spores are again haploid one. So here students, this third point is very important, because number of students can easily understand this plasmogamy and the karyogamy, but they do not know the actual phenomenon of this meiosis. And see here, meiosis is a type of cell division which you will find always in the zygote in the sexual reproduction. See here, any gametes which are going to fuse either fused by their protoplasm or either fused by their nucleus, gametes are always haploid. So they have haploid number of the chromosomes. So these two gametes, maybe motile or non-motile, are haploid one. They first fuse by their protoplasm, then fuse by their nucleus. We call it as respectively plasmogamy and the karyogamy. After fusion, there will be formation of the zygote. This zygote is always diploid one because it is formed by fusion of this haploid gametes. So this zygote have the double set of chromosome or the two set of chromosome, but the spores or the gametes are always haploid. So this zygote then produce the spore, and spore should be haploid. So production of the haploid spore, there should be the meiosis cell division, and by this meiosis there will be reduction of the chromosome. That means this diploid set of chromosome again reduced to this haploid set. So this is the third step in the sexual reproduction, where the reductional division, that is meiosis, takes place in this zygote, and there will be spore formation. So see here, in just now we have seen that spores are produced in the asexual reproduction as well as spores are produced in the sexual reproduction. So the sexual reproduction spores are there. We have given the name that oospore, then ascospore, then basidiospore. So these are the spores which are produced by the sexual method, by the fusion of the either motile or the non-motile gametes. So these are the three important events of the sexual cycle. So in any fungi, the sexual reproduction takes place by this method, and those are the plasmogamy, karyogamy and meiosis. Sequence is not changed. There will be not meiosis first, then karyogamy, then plasmogamy. First is the plasmogamy, second is the karyogamy, and third one is called as the meiosis. So it is a sexual cycle. So in our lecture, the some important point that we have discussed are the heterotrophic nature of the fungi. That means this fungi acts as either parasitic, acts as either symbiotic association to other organism, or it may acts as a saprophytes. The cell wall of this fungi is an important component which is made up of the cellulose and which is made up of the chitin and the polysaccharide. This fungi has a fruiting body. In that fruiting body, you will find the spore, which are the important part of the reproduction. Maybe it is of the asexual reproduction, or maybe of the sexual reproduction, that spore are produced in that fruiting body. Generally see here, the fruiting body are involved for the asexual reproduction, because here we have seen that spores, how they are produced in the sexual reproduction. Okay, and then we have seen that the different types of the reproductive methods in fungi. Those are the vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction and the sexual reproduction. Vegetative reproduction occurs by three ways, that is fragmentation, then fission, and then the budding method. Okay, and here next type is called as asexual reproduction. This asexual reproduction occurs by three type of spores: conidia, sporangiospores and the zoospore. While the sexual reproduction occurs with the help of the three types of spores, and these are the spores that is called as oospore, ascospore and the basidiospore. So this is about the important part of the kingdom fungi. Now we have to see that these fungi are again divided into four groups, and those groups are, see here, Ascomycetes, Phycomycetes, Basidiomycetes and Deuteromycetes. Because we have seen that this fungi is a diverse in number. There are large number of fungi which shows different habitat, which show different structure, and due to which these fungi are classified into, these different fungi classified into four different groups. Those groups are Ascomycetes, Phycomycetes, Basidiomycetes and the Deuteromycetes. That means each one has a specific characteristics, and in which some fungi are divided. So this point that we are going to see in the next lecture, and there are some tricks. By that trick we have to memorize the example, because each group has number of examples of fungi, and there is always question asked for need that which fungi belongs to which group. For example, mushroom belongs to dot dot group, and the four options are there: Asco, Fico, Dictyro, Basidiomycetes. So you should know the trick of that group. Then and then only you can classify the particular fungi in a particular group. So that trick and the explanation that we will going to discuss in the next lecture. So this fungi part is very important, because if you see from first to last, then you will find that there are very complexity than the kingdom Monera and the kingdom Protista, because in kingdom Monera we have just seen that the type of reproduction, that is a fission, that is a zygote formation, are the simple method. In the Protista we are not focused on the particular reproduction of that kingdom Protista, but in the kingdom fungi, here that we are going to discuss is the important part, and that is called as the reproduction. So you will find that different types of spore will be there, of sexual type, different type of vegetative reproduction is there, different types of the sexual cycles are there, and one more important point regarding the sexual reproduction is remain, that we will also discuss in the next lecture. So reproduction is an important part of the fungi. Don't get confused. The part which I discussed today, read it carefully, then you will get idea about the reproduction of the fungi. Okay, so here we have completed the important part of this fungi, and that is the reproduction method. Okay, so the next part we'll discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.